Welcome to Behind the Badge. I'm your host, Chief David Malloy, Director of Public Safety for the City of Novi, and I'm honored to be joined on set today with Fire Marshal Joe Shelton of the Novi Fire Department. Fire Marshal Shelton, welcome to Behind the Badge.
Well, thanks, Chief.
Well, we're in the spring season now, and I know we've already had a few grass fires from some open burns. Let's talk a little bit about some of the open burning and some of the incidents we've had to mitigate these last couple weeks.
Well, open burning is regulated in the City of Novi. We do have ordinances against it. When we talk about open burning causing the fires, it's usually caused by people burning refuse, doing that spring cleanup. And in the City of Novi, you cannot burn any of your yard waste. Most common cause of these issues is they're not being attended. They choose a bad day to burn. And again, when we talk about bad day to burn, you can't burn that yard waste here in the city.
Excellent. And I know another thing that we really try to get out and do a good public education effort on, particularly with our multi-family dwellings or our condo complexes. Let's talk about a little bit about barbecue placement, because I know that can be an issue.
And unfortunately, that code is written just because we've had some tragedies in these multi-residents, it's called, and the barbecues are not allowed on these balconies. There is a fire code against it, and when we live in that type of a community with these multi-residents, you have a greater responsibility for fire safety, and the code states that you cannot barbecue on those balconies or within 10 feet of the structure. But there is an exception. If you have an electric barbecue, you're still allowed to, so it's not fuel fired. And or if on some of our newer apartments and condominiums, the balconies are sprinkled. If there's a sprinkler system, a residential sprinkler system, you are still allowed to barbecue on those balconies.
Excellent. So just again as a reminder, an electrical grill is fine?
Correct.
Anything that doesn't have gas power? That
is correct. Anything that's not fuel fired. The barbecues that use, obviously the briquettes and the propane. And the code even states that you cannot store that propane on those multi-residency, balconies.
Okay. Fire Marshal, tell us a little bit about your background, your education, and some of the assignments you've had here at the Novi Fire Department.
Well, I actually started with the Novi Fire Department in 1985 as a paid-on-call. In 1988, I had the privilege of testing and becoming full-time. So it took a few years as the department grew and developed that we developed a leadership. So I became what was called the assistant shift supervisor at one time when the city felt there was a need for more supervision in day and nights. And that position developed into a lieutenant's position. And then as the fire marshal position opened up about 3 years ago, I was able to test for that and become the fire marshal. Now during that time from 1990, the city of Novi has what's a company-based inspection program. So it was pretty natural for me to move into the fire marshal position, being involved in code enforcement and fire inspection since 1990.
Tell us a little bit about how many in 2014, I want to say just close to 4,000 fire inspections that were performed?
There was pretty close to 4,000, and that again, that's a mixed number of fire inspections. That's the frontline annuals and every other year inspections that we do based on the commercial business. That sprinkler system, acceptance tests, all those permits that we go out on. It could be a complaint, and it could be a simple inspection of a fire alarm system.
Excellent. And I know recently you spearheaded and led a project. We're doing a kind of a regional approach to fire safety, where we're looking at getting an assistance to firefighter grant for smoke detectors. And tell us a little bit about who you worked with and what the process is and what's our ultimate goal of that program.
Well, it's a fire protection grant for some smoke detectors for high-risk areas, and as you know, in the city we still have some mobile home communities that we get into on a normal basis with our normal calls and find out that smoke detectors are lacking in some of those areas, and unfortunately we've had a history of some fatalities in those mobile homes. So we went ahead and approached the fire prevention grant, and the language has to be pretty specific. As you know, any federal dollar is very difficult to get nowadays. We've had some difficulty doing it by ourselves, so we went as a regional approach with West Bloomfield, the Farmington Hills, Northville Township, Livonia, and Rochester Hills. We went as a consortium. We wrote this grant hoping that we'd have more success, showing a more need in those areas. Maybe they have the same needs as Novi does in some of the high-risk. So we wrote that grant. It's been successfully completed and submitted, so we're just waiting word back. And we'll hopefully get those smoke detectors out to the people who need them.
Yeah, and I know recently we had 6 carbon monoxide detectors donated on behalf of Home Depot.
Yep, one of our lieutenants, who is one of our supervisors, saw the need that sometimes we go on these carbon monoxide detector calls. where we're actually taking them out of service, but the people are still concerned about carbon monoxide, as you know, it would be your detector went off. And so we're providing them with a free replacement, a loaner, until they can get theirs replaced. So
excellent, excellent. Yeah. And I know on the plan review, the fire inspection side, we got a lot of new projects coming into Novi. Some of the projects you're working on right now, I know Providence Park is continuing to build out.
Yeah, very busy. We'd like to see that. Spring brings a lot of activity for the you know, the new construction. We have some great additions to our community with the Harmon Becker building that's going in. Providence reinvesting in that area there. It's very promising, and they're going to be building some outbuildings around the ring road there. Some great commercial areas like our American Tire. These are great projects that are coming in, and we're looking forward to more.
Well, one of the things that we always emphasize, particularly with the fire protection officers that go out, is to every opportunity, every contact we have with a community member, whether it's a business person, as a resident, you know, that's an opportunity for us to take advantage of public education, educate them as best we can on the dangers of fire safety.
And you know, we have to keep that focus when when our fire protection officers are in those businesses or within the residence. As you know, we have the fall and the home inspection programs that we do, but you know, the turnover in some of our businesses, especially some of our restaurants, you may not see that same manager when you come back. So we always have to emphasize that it's a focus on that education. That lasts a lot longer than writing a violation.
Absolutely. So, safety first.
Safety.
Fire Marshal, thanks for your time. Appreciate your service, and we hope for a very quiet, safe, and sunny summer 2015.
Beautiful.
Thanks for coming out. And to you, the viewing audience, thank you for tuning in to Behind the Badge. And until next time, continue to watch Novi Television.